Alrighty, so with this year coming to an end, I kind of just want to do a little recap on some UFC most delusional fighters. Now there are a shit ton of delusional fighters, so of course I'm not going to be able to encapsulate them all, but in this tier list, I'm going to basically go through a lot of fighters that I feel like most people think are delusional, I think personally are delusional, and are probably, yeah, in the running for some of the most delusional fighters we've ever seen. They pretty much all have to have at least one delusional take, and if that's the requirement, this list would probably last forever. But I've got a few big names here, and they're a little hidden here, as you can see the list, but we'll go through them all, as I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for it. Now, I just gotta name them all. I think we'll do S tier as criminal, criminal, fucking should be crime. Yeah, there we go. Delusional. Yeah, that's probably how you spell it. I'm horrible at spelling, if you couldn't tell. Just dumb, I think we should have here. Just dumb, as in, like, he probably doesn't realize that he's just spewing nonsense. What would second to last be? Worried slash starting to go start of of mental fuck's sakes, mental decline, and then probably sane will do. So yeah, like I said, most delusional takes, those ones should be a crime, should be put behind bars, maybe even fired, but yeah. Of course, this list is going to be 100% biased, so if you don't like my takes, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But, yeah, this is all going to be opinion-based, but yeah, let's just get straight into the list. And why not start with, an icebreaker. What's someone everyone knows is delusional here? Let's start with something neutral here. Paddy the Fatty lad. The absolute Big Mac lad. The absolute fucking McChicken lad. I think Paddy's pretty delusional. He still thinks that he won that Jared Gordon fight. I think that's pretty fucking delusional. Now, did he recover it by submitting Bobby Green? Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have a great performance against... He might just be dumb, though, to be fair. I think he might just be dumb. I don't know if he's actually delusional. I think he is just dumb. Because he was a Twitter warrior for a little bit. Still thinks he beat Jared Cannonier somehow. Or Jared Cannonier. Whoa, Jared Gordon. Somehow. Absolutely didn't. That fight was one of the worst robberies in UFC history. I think we all know that. So, really sucks for Paddy the Fatty. Thinks he beats Ilia Topuria. Ooh, now that's pretty delusional, though. Do I put Paddy in delusional? Yeah, thinking he beat Ilia Topuria still is just like, you're fucking brain dead, I think, so I think we'll put him in delusional tier, absolutely delusional, absolutely, how do you spell that word? I knew that. Absolutely delusional. I think Paddy the Batty's definitely up there. Now, next one on the list, who should we do? Khalil Roundtree. Now, I don't know if a lot of people think this guy's delusional. I think this guy's fucking delusional. Actually, no. I think this guy's just dumb. I think he got into a cult at an early age, and I think he thinks that makes him cool or something. But I do think this guy's just dumb. Like, he's talking about, I have a secret weapon ready for Pereira. Don't know if I'll use it, but I've got a plan to win. You had no plan. Your plan was to go all gas, no brakes. Gas out in the first 2 rounds like you normally do, and get your ass whooped in the rest of the fight. That is a typical Khalil Roundtree fight. He got the title shot off of Anthony Smith, and he thinks he deserves the title shot based off that, just because he does stand-up. Yeah, this is MMA, lil bro. If you want to just do stand-up, go to Muay Thai. Oh, you couldn't make it a Muay Thai, huh? That's crazy. So you have to fight unranked fucking light heavyweights to get a winning streak. Just keeping in mind here, he's lost to Johnny Walker. He robbed Dustin Jacoby of a win that I think he clearly deserved, but, you know, somehow Khalil Roundtree got 5 fucking dum-dums together. Or I guess 4 dum-dums? I don't even remember. 4 dum-dums and a robbery against Jacoby. And he was able to get a title shot off of Anthony fucking Smith off short notice. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he's just dumb. I don't think he's that delusional, because I think you have to, like... If he was like, oh yeah, I was about to knock out Pereira or something, that's delusional. But he is kind of just dumb. Getting into a cult, thinking that you deserve a title shot off an Anthony Smith win. Having this like, oh, I've got a plan for Pereira. Shut the fuck up. You're just dumb. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely put Khalil Roundtree in the dumb category. Moving on, we have... Ooh, who's another one I should do? We have Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith. What, am I like... Jesus Christ, my brain's running on 10%. Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling. Now, why is he delusional? Well, he pretty much thinks that the stoppage on O'Malley was an early stoppage. I think you're pretty delusional to think that it was an early stoppage. However, that's kind of like his only delusional take, if you really think about it. Now... because he did beat Peter Yan in a rematch, which was fairly justified, so I can't put absolutely delusional, you know, to think he won that fight. But Aljamain did think that it was an early stoppage when he got knocked out. His face went... he went face first into the canvas, basically was out fucking cold, and then came to and basically went to his back after getting the cut open, and then he was, like, peeling over. I think... you know, start of a mental decline here. I think he can go off the rails a little bit, but, you know, I rate that he thinks he could have beat Movsar Evloev, and he got really fucking close, to be fair. But he's not, like, saying anything too delusional, like he would have beat him, he's going to beat a champion right now or anything. You know, he's fairly grounded in reality, you know. But I am kind of worried because of that O'Malley take, that he might just go off the rails, and he might just, like, down the road, let's say... O'Malley beats Merab in a rematch, and then O'Malley becomes the best bantamweight champion of all time by getting like 4 or 5 title defenses, and Aljamain has like some sort of decline, like, oh man, you know, early stoppage, I would have beat him, you know, no one's ever tested his grappling like I did, or some delusional shit like that. I can see that from Aljamain, but regardless, I'm not, yeah, I think Aljamain's fine here. Should probably add this, huh? Probably fine. What the fuck is wrong with this list? Fine. Yeah, there we go. Probably fine. Yeah. Aljamain, definitely worried. Might start a mental decline. I actually like him more now that he's not a champion. So I'm a little worried, you know, about his certain takes, you know. But regardless of that, let's move on to the next one. Don't want this list to last forever. We have Mario Bautista. The fact that he thinks he beat Jose Aldo, and his excuse is, well, he should learn how to fight off the cage. I think it should be a crime. I think he should be put into prison, specifically Alcatraz. I do think he should be put through the ringer there. Only Francis Ngannou's are allowed inside that prison as well. So same stature, same sort of fighting, mixed martial art record, you know, same heavyweight type situation, you know, sand miners that went to MMA or some sort of combat sport background. I think that should be the only prison allowed for Mario Bautista. I'm going to put him in should be a crime. How dare you do that to a former greatest featherweight of all time? Thinking that you deserve to be that you even deserve that fucking hand raise, you piece of shit. I spit on you. Anyways, yeah, that's definitely a should be a crime moment. Then we have Anthony Smith. Finally, Porky the Pig. Anthony Smith, is absolutely delusional. He's saying shit that, like, oh, I was feeling the pain from Dominic Reyes. I wanted to lose that fight. Shit like that. You know, thinks he beats Pereira. Thinks he can submit Pereira if he gets the back, which he probably couldn't even do, starting on the back of Pereira. The little bet they had. That still is never going to happen because Anthony Smith probably won't ever show up. Dude thinks he's still a fighter when he is just a part-time dude who, you know, does commentating on the side. And then shows up whenever he needs a paycheck. Absolutely delusional. I don't think there's any way around it, you know. Anthony Smith is just, he's kind of off the rails, you know. He's going to keep on coping, saying he's part of, you know, he's a really good mixed martial artist. He's part of the top division, like he was trying to say in the press conference and everything leading up to the Dominic Reyes fight. And then he just does nothing, you know. Gets knocked out by Khalil Roundtree. Pretty embarrassing. You know, not even Dustin Jacoby got knocked out by Khalil fucking Roundtree, so, just saying. Anyways, yeah, pretty embarrassing. He got knocked out like twice that fight, technically. I swear in round 2, he basically got knocked out, but Khalil Roundtree just didn't do follow-up shots for some reason. A little weird, is what it is. Regardless, Anthony Smith is absolutely delusional. No secret there. John Jones, the reason why John Jones is here, now if you don't know, he thinks Tom Aspinall doesn't deserve the belt. You've got to be out of your fucking mind. He owns the interim title belt. He's defended the interim title belt. The only thing left for him is to go up. And to go up, he needs to get his fucking belt. And that's what I mean by going up. Getting his belt. Upgrading his belt. The fact that John Jones thinks this, I think, makes him absolutely delusional. I think even more delusional than Paddy Pimblett. That take is honestly like, ooh, you know what? I'm gonna put John Jones here. Should be a crime. You know, he should already be in jail for all the wife beating and the pregnant women hitting and the cheating he's done inside the cage, and outside the cage. You know, at certain non-straight bars, we'll say. So, yeah, I think should be a crime. Absolutely delusional. How can you think the guy who owns the interim belt in your division doesn't deserve the title shot? That's number one. Number two, how do you think this guy isn't a threat to you? You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are like, well, he recognizes the threat. Now, John Jones isn't saying that. Everyone's putting that in his mouth. You know, even Guru's putting it in his fucking mouth. You know, there's only one thing that gets put in John Jones's mouth, guys. You know, but no, it's just absolutely delusional to think that a person in your division, or no, I think it should be a crime to think the guy in your division who owns the interim belt doesn't deserve a title shot. Like, you should just be cut from the UFC. How are you even a fucking champion with that level of like mental degradation on your brain? Absolutely insane. And he's literally a criminal, so should be a crime. Anyways, just saying. Moving on, we have someone a little bit more palatable. Ilya Topuria. Now, why is Ilya here? Well, he's saying that the featherweight cut is a little too much for him, and he's saying that he needs to move up to lightweight. Now, I kind of understand where he's coming from. He doesn't look like the featherweight cut is actually that bad. His weight cuts look fine. He doesn't look that big. He's smaller than most of his opponents. I don't know why he thinks this. I don't understand how the weight cut's that tough for him. So I'm kind of worried with what his mental state is, for sure. Because I don't know if he just thinks that, like, it's kind of one of these situations where it's either he's trying to avoid the division, number one. Number two, something is weird going on with his weight cut. Like, there's got to be some sort of weird hydration formula not working out for him, which is just like, I don't even understand if you're a championship level fighter, how you haven't got down weight cutting yet. And then also, if he truly does want to go up because the weight cutting the problem and everything, I'm a little concerned on, like, really what that means, because if he's not really planning on packing on a lot of muscle for lightweight, he could just get laid on by these big dudes, you know? Like, a Jalen Turner would be a type of style to probably whoop Ilya, because Jalen Turner is like a Jai Herbert stature guy, but taller, rangier, and with a lot of power. He probably could KO Ilya Taporia, so that's kind of what I'd be worried about. You know, like, I think Dan Hooker would probably give Ilya Taporia a lot of problems if weight cutting's a problem right now. So I'm a little worried, not gonna lie, as far as his mental state is going, because, like, it's either he is, like, kind of delusional, thinking that he doesn't need to really defend his belt at all in featherweight, and that he's cleared the division, because there are two contenders in Mozavar and Lopez waiting for him. Like, I know he did just beat two goats, and that might be why he's getting a little delusional, but I'm a little worried. I don't know where his mental state is at, but, you know, I want to see him talk about a little bit more about legacy here. You know, he's also talking about wanting to retire at 30. Smart, but, like, also, why not try to, you know, get more bang for your buck? You know, your testosterone really doesn't start declining to, what, 32, 33 on average? So, I don't know. It's really weird. I'm a little worried about Ilya Taporia, but, you know, I respect the man. He knocked out two goats in the same year. Can't really complain. Moving on, we have Sean Strickland. I don't think he's dumb. Is he absolutely delusional? No, I think I'd put Sean Strickland here. Now, I know he's a little crazy on Twitter and everything like that, but he is kind of... He makes sense when we're talking about competition and fighting other fighters. He really is just saying that he thinks that he beats Pereira most of the time, which is fair, I guess, kind of. Even though I think he's actually walked back that and said that he loses 9 out of 10 times to Pereira, because Pereira, if he does just touch him, he's dead. But he also, I think, has a fair take on his recent loss to a Dricus du Plessis, mainly because Sean Strickland was up in 4 of the 5 rounds on strikes. And I know it's like, oh, you're just up on strikes. He did a lot of damage to Dricus du Plessis' face. Arguably, Dricus' face was more fucked up than Strickland's. So I think that take is pretty fair. Where I'm worried is kind of the take that I beat Paulo Costa, I sit out and wait for the belt. I do agree that he does deserve an immediate rematch. I just think Paulo Costa is kind of like a free win, you know? Like, not in terms of Paulo Costa has no danger or whatever, but in terms of just like it's Paulo Costa coming off a loss to Robert Whittaker, you know? Like, it's basically, it is really just a free layup. And, you know, this could be the start of the mental decline, because if he has this take where he can just beat up-and-comers and just get infinite title shots, you know, this could be the start of the mental decline as far as the MMA-ness goes, I guess. So I'm a little worried for Sean Strickland, but I don't think he's absolutely delusional for thinking he deserves an immediate rematch with one of the closest fights of all time. So I think he's pretty fair. Depending on who you are, I can see you putting him in absolutely delusional. Maybe just dumb for wanting to strike with Pereira, but you know, I don't mind this. I don't mind this take at all. Anyways, moving on, we have... Ooh, it's actually getting... Wow, I can't believe how long I'm yapping. We have Jamal Hill. Now, why is Jamal Hill here? Well, obviously, he thinks he didn't really lose to Pereira, or he didn't really get knocked out, you know, to Pereira. But I don't think he's dumb for thinking that. Ooh, is he absolutely delusional for thinking that, though? You know what? This is going to be a molten lava hot take. I think Jamal Hill's probably fine. Like, he did kind of just get caught. He was out of focus. He was coming off an injury. He is admitting that he did get caught. You know, it isn't like he was getting dominated by Pereira. It was just like a, ooh, right hook landed, Jamal Hill down sort of situation. So, you know, we've seen like Henry Cejudo come back from getting knocked out in round 1 and then going all 5 rounds to Demetrius Johnson. You know, maybe Jamal Hill can do that. I'm not really too worried about the mental state of Jamal Hill. He just seems very confident that he's going to be able to beat Jiri Prochazka, then move back into title contention. It's not like this guy's thinking like he deserves an instant rematch or something. So I rate that. I rate that about Jamal Hill. I think he's probably fine. I think he's probably fine. Probably. Anyways, moving on, we have Israel Adesanya. Dude still thinks that the world revolves around him. He thinks that he'll still be a champion, which is pretty delusional. I think he admits that Sean Strickland just whooped his ass, but I'm going to put him in absolutely delusional, but he's in the bottom. Because he does make excuses every time he loses. I didn't eat 2 bowls of cereal that morning. Well, I wasn't in the right chakra, you know? Like, I think he's pretty fucking delusional for that, to be honest with you. And he's thinking that, like, he gets another deserved title shot, quote-unquote, after losing twice in a row. It's like, you know? I don't know. I think he's still pretty delusional. Still thinks he beat Pereira if he moves up a weight division. Absolutely brain dead take. Yeah, I think absolutely delusional is fine. I think he just barely makes it. But yeah, moving on, we have Ian the Cuck Gary. He says he feels like he hasn't lost. But he lives with his ex-wife's husband as a dietitian. Oh, this is the problem. Do I put him in absolutely delusional for that? No sane human being would do that. You know? No sane human being would do that. He thinks that he beats Khamzat Chimaev, though. I'm gonna put him in absolutely delusional. Worse than Izzy. Worse than Patty. Yeah, worse than Patty. Because, well, he doesn't really accept the fact that he lost to Shavkat. I think thinking that he's gonna be able to beat Khamzat Chimaev, also a little delusional. Thinking that he deserves a fight with Kamaru Usman as well is like a little delusional at this point. He did just lose to Shavkat Rakhmonov. You are in the losing column. You kind of need a win from an up-and-comer to be back into like, oh, he beat Kamaru Usman, give him a title shot. You know what I mean? Because if Kamaru Usman wins his next fight, they'll probably give him a title shot. So that's like a #1 contender's belt. I put Ian Gary about here. I think that's pretty fair. Moving on, Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner thinks that he beat Dan Hooker and that he should have got the KO on Renato Moicano based on the fact that he has trauma from knocking out Bobby Green. I think he's just dumb. I think those are just dumb takes, you know? I don't think he genuinely thinks that. I think those are just excuses that he thinks people are going to believe. He did lose to Dan Hooker, convincingly. He did lose to Renato Moicano because he didn't try to fall out with shots. I think he's just dumb, to be honest with you. I don't think he's dumber than Khalil. Yeah, I think he is just dumb. You know, for all the advantages and talent he has in 155, he is just like a dumb fighter sometimes, you know, just decides to not really strike well. You know, and then he knocks out Bobby Green via 1-2, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I knocked some guy down, call the fight, ref. No. You know, you gotta follow up with shots. This is MMA. It's not over until a ref calls it. You know what I mean? Anyways. Moving on, Bryce Mitchell. Good old Cedar. Good old Cedar, eh, Bryce Mitchell? Hell yeah, brother. Just like the true Lord intended. Cedar is where you go. Oak is good. Cedar, strong and tough. Oak, get damage in the weather there. You know, Flat Earth Believer is... I think we put Bryce Mitchell... Ooh, not more delusional than Anthony Smith. I think Bryce Mitchell, in a good way, gets absolutely delusional. And I think it's kind of good with Bryce Mitchell, you know? Flat Earth Believer, making himself build his own house with cedar, of course, not that oak. You know, not that pine. Gotta get that cedar. Always get the cedar there, brother. But, you know, knocked out Kron Gracie, pretty smart there. Arkansas wrestling. His wrestling is really good, to be fair. He's not like delusional thinking his skill set is much better than it is. I think he's fine on the most part, but he's absolutely delusional in terms of, like, flat earth, in terms of, like, certain takes he has outside the government. Listen here, fella. Let me tell you something about the government. The government won't tell you, you know? But, you know, vaccines, you know, I think he's a little delusional for that, but it's a good delusional, you know? I think if Bryce Mitchell saw this, he'd be proud he's here in the absolutely delusional, you know? He doesn't want to be probably fine, you know? He definitely wants to be absolutely delusional. So I rate Bryce Mitchell for that. Anyways, moving on, we have Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's here mainly because of his take that he beat Merab Dvalishvili. And I'm putting him here. I think that's the most sane take out of all the delusional fighters. I think a lot of people think he's delusional for that. I think it's a fair take that he won 3 out of the 5 rounds. Because I'm with him on that take. So, obviously, there's a bias. I can see why people might put him here for that take. I think he did comfortably win 3 rounds. Especially because the judges all gave him round 2. And in round 5, he definitely won. And in round 4, he did more work than he did in round 2. But they gave him round 2 instead of giving him round 4. So, the judges just aren't consistent. So, I'm putting Sean O'Malley there. Anthony Smith, we already rated. Don't need to put him anywhere. Who the fuck is this? Jesus Christ. Where did this ginger get here, huh? Huh? This fat fuck. This fucking 300-pound lard-ass, part-timing fucking MMA YouTuber-looking ass shows up halfway through a fight card. Is he absolutely delusional, guys? Where should I put him? Where should I put him? Should it be a crime? He's already got legal cases, though, for his takes. Well, maybe, allegedly. I don't know about probably fine. I am worried about a mental decline. I am. Because let me tell you something about the guru here, you know? Mr. MMA Guru's been, every time he gets donations and shit, he just starts crying about it, that he's getting paid fucking, you know, 6 figures a year, maybe even 7 figures a year, just to read out some donations. Come on, Porky the Pig. You know what I mean? This is a dream job. Stop acting like you're fucking complaining about it, you know? You fucking absolutely delusional. But I'm kind of getting worried that Guru will retire one day, and if he does retire, it's going to be a dark day on MMA YouTube, you know? Just based on certain things and way certain things go, you know? Like DDP losing, then we have John Jones if he beat Tom Aspinall. I think we would see probably the end of the Guru's channel. He might actually just fucking quit YouTube if Tom Aspinall lost to John Jones. But yeah, I put Guru here. I think that's fair. Anyways, moving on. Who's this handsome feller? Me. Am I absolutely delusional, guys, for thinking that Sean O'Malley did beat Merab Dvalishvili? Am I delusional for thinking Dan Hooker can beat Islam Makhachev in a rematch in 2025? Am I delusional in thinking Brian Battle is going to be champion in 2026? I think I'm probably fine. I think I'm probably fine. Yeah, probably I'm fine, right, guys? Probably. Anyways, with all that being said, this is my most delusional fighters tier list. Just for right now in 2024. You know, end of the year, gotta get the tier list pumping out. Keeping that daily slot that I'm going with. But, yeah. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, maybe put some honorable mentions in the comments if you want, for who you think should have been on this list, and maybe next time I'll probably add them. But regardless, I want to thank you guys all for watching, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.